Welcome to another edition of Africa Sideways, and we've got the Opel Corsa for you today. I remember this when I was a kid. It was the iconic car of the 90s, you'd say. Well, not the Corsa, but the Opel Kadett surely was, which this is based off the Super Boss, the fastest hatchback of its time, arguably. And when I first heard about this, I thought 1.2 turbo. I wasn't really getting my hopes up, but when you dig the foot in, it certainly has got a lot of go. This has got the same engine as the 308 we were in last week, and it's noticeably quicker. It's got that push you in the back of the seat sort of power, which the other car just couldn't get from being such a big vehicle. The brakes are really on point. Really is a lot of fun to drive. You can really stick it into the corners and it won't let you down. So this is coming in at 320,000 Rand, ladies and gentlemen. About 100k cheaper than the 3008, which this is based off the same chassis but lowered, so it's going to be more like a 308. So it's got that WRC heritage, which you can really feel when you're sticking it through the corners. It can compete on price against the best hatchbacks in the business. It's certainly fast enough. There you go, 0 to 100 in under 10 seconds, and it'll definitely get you 200 to 200 kilometers an hour, which is really fast enough. The one thing I would say about this particular vehicle is just being a 1.2 litre engine, turbocharged, you are putting quite a lot of stress on those three cylinders. So the longevity of these smaller turbocharged engines is possibly not going to be as good as a naturally aspirated bigger engine that doesn't have to rev as hard to get the work done. But with emissions and government regulations, it's kind of forcing a lot of the manufacturers to go to smaller turbocharged engines to avoid passing on those taxes to the customer, because price is king at the end of the day in this tight hatchback market. So what else would this be up against? The Ford Fiesta, if you're looking for something a little smaller, but this kind of feels size-wise similar to a Fiesta, not a Focus. Not quite as nippy, but fun to drive, fast enough. In terms of rear legroom, better than the 3008. I think they've sacrificed some boot space to have ample legroom for the passengers. So don't expect a massive boot, but it's more than enough for a smallish golf club or two, and definitely good for a family of 4 for a holiday, I'd imagine. On the downside with Opel and Peugeot, the reliability is middle of the road, so you're not going to get Toyota or Honda sort of bulletproof reliability, but what you do get is styling is rather eye-catching, and it's just something a little different. Not everybody's driving an Opel. Just like the Opel Adam I really like. So I do think that the company itself is making strides. So all in all, this is going to be targeted at your sort of upwardly mobile city slickers, somebody with a small family, somebody looking for something economical that they can still have fun in, that can blow your hair back, so to speak. So I expect this to sell relatively well. Opel, as I said, used to make a big noise in South Africa in the 90s, but it's been quiet of late, and with this and the Opel Adam and a few other offerings, they really are going to be knocking on the door. I would, however, like to see this in a 1.6 litre, possibly with an all-wheel drive. But for a good, honest hatchback, you can't go too far wrong. And that they've got decent tyres on here. They haven't gone for ultra-low profile. So all in all, the proper package from Opel. Where this car really comes alive is on the twisty bits. That WRC Heritage, you can really throw it into the corner, and the handling is on point. Doesn't lift whatsoever. This thing really is low to the ground, ladies and gentlemen. Hugs the turf. So this is based on the 208 chassis, which has done really well on the WRC, and it really shows on the handling of this car. You can throw it into the corners and it won't let you down. And there's a lot of grunt you can get out of a 1.2 litre engine, especially when it's in such a small car. You know, it feels a similar sort of speed to an MX-5. So we've got an interesting collaboration here between the Germans of Opel and the Peugeot, and they've done it the right way. I feel some of the best parts of the 208 that are coming out in this vehicle in terms of handling, but they've gone with some German styling inside, which is good. But sometimes the Peugeots can get a little bit, they're trying to be a little bit too smart for their own good. So it's a good compromise, this car. Feels pretty well made in there. So all in all, I've been very impressed with the new Opel Corsa 1.2 turbo at 370,000 Rand. It's really a competitive offering in this popular hatchback segment. Not quite fast enough to compete with a GTI, but fast enough to get you to church on time, and certainly has got a very nice engine noise. Plus side is looks, uniqueness. Downside is the reliability factor, which is slightly unknown on these French cars, but they do seem to be getting better. And look forward to seeing more from Opel, and this gets a good solid 8 out of 10 on the Africa Sideways ranking. We'll catch you next time, Africa Sideways.